South Dakota joins a court challenge to the Equal Rights Amendment. I'm Brian Allen. Tonight at 10 on Ksfy, Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg says there's a legal problem with the idea of a constitutional amendment to give women rights equal to men. And a growing level of uncertainty tonight about impeachment amid a growing gap between Democrats and Republicans about impeachment trial rules. Hi, Phil.
And it looks like we're heading into a very mild weekend as we head into winter. But will that mild weather stick with us very long? We'll let you know tonight at 10.
From the KSFY studios in downtown Sioux Falls, this is KSFY News at 10.
And thank you for being with us on this Friday night. I'm Brian Allen. State leaders from Alabama, Louisiana, and now South Dakota are filing lawsuits if Virginia becomes the 38th state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. KSFY News reporter Sam Wright is here to explain this development to us in our 10 o'clock top story tonight. Hi, Sam.
Brian, this is in response to a renewed push to get the required 38th state to ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. The Republican leadership tells me their motive is not to prevent equal rights.
3 states are filing a federal lawsuit to block the addition of the Equal Rights Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. In 1972, Congress proposed this amendment to ban discrimination on the basis of sex and was given a 7-year deadline to be formally signed by 38 states. In a press release, South Dakota Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg noted that the South Dakota legislature initially ratified the Equal Rights Amendment in 1973, but canceled the ratification process after it failed to pass with the support of enough states before the deadline. There is a new push from the Virginia State Legislature to ratify the ERA, which would effectively make it the 38th state to do so and fulfill the initial requirements of the proposal. Ravnsborg and Supreme Court Justice Ruth Ginsburg believe the process should start anew, but Ginsburg also wants there to be clear language that gives equal rights to women.
I think also a lot of people don't know that this isn't even a law right now. Like, people just assume men and women are equal under the law.
Michaela Sieber is part of the board of directors for Leaders Engaged and Determined. Despite women having an opportunity to pursue similar opportunities as men, they were concerned there is no official language that would prevent conflict in the future.
There isn't specifically a law. They'll say maybe the 14th Amendment gives us all of those rights, or the 19th Amendment, said women have the right to vote, but none of that actually says anything about women. The 14th Amendment actually does speak to men, and then the 19th Amendment is just all people can vote. So yeah, there's still, and even that just gives us the right to vote, there's still a lot of other legal rights that we don't have, that women don't have, because it's not in the Constitution.
The political debate has been prevalent between Democratic and Republican parties regarding this move. Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg responding in a statement saying this is an issue following the rule of law, the rules that our founding fathers put into place to protect us from government making decisions without the consent or support of we the people. Brian.
All right, Sam, thank you so much. This lawsuit seeks to prevent David Ferrero, the Archivist of the United States, from accepting any new ratification of the ERA from any state at all. Boy, do we have a good-looking weekend weather-wise on the way. Phil is off tonight, but it is an absolute pleasure to say hello to my friend Aaron Dowd. Hello.
Brian, good evening. It is going to be a fantastic weekend. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous outside. I'm talking about highs in the 40s. Can't beat that this time of year, especially with the holidays coming, travel coming up as well. But we are going to have to start off with maybe just a little bit of fog during the overnight hours. We actually have a little bit of fog to start off this evening. We're down to about 5 miles visibility in the Sioux Falls area, about 3 in Redwood Falls, and so there is a little bit of fog going on across the region here this evening. So if you're headed outdoors, just make sure you're aware of that, but you're not going to have to deal with any rain, nothing like that either, as we head into the rest of the evening, into the overnight hours as well. Hey, temperatures a little on the cool side, especially across parts of Minnesota. 10 in Ortonville and Redwood Falls, 16 though in Brookings, 15 Sioux Falls, hanging out in the 20s out to the west. When you throw in that dreaded wind, though, it feels like 2 below in Ortonville, 4 above Sisseton and Watertown, feeling like 3 right now in Brookings, 9 in Huron. Day planners, it's going to be pretty nice. Tomorrow, like I was just talking about, maybe a little bit of fog, but 36 by noon. We should top out well into the 40s before falling back to about 40 by 5 o'clock in the Sioux Falls area. Hey, Aberdeen starting off in the 20s, 30 though by noon. You'll get up into the 30s tomorrow afternoon, about mid-30s before falling back down a few degrees by 5 o'clock. And in the Pierre area, it's going to be pretty nice as well. 25 by 8 o'clock, maybe still a few stars around. 35 by noon, topping well out into the 40s as well. It's going to be pretty nice. But, Brian, overall, it's going to be a great weekend. I'm going to have that holiday travel forecast for you in a little bit.
Mr. Dowd, thank you for that. New tonight here on KSFY, a presidential candidate is set to make a short stop here in Sioux Falls. Senator Amy Klobuchar is making the city one of several stops in the Midwest next week. The Democratic presidential candidate will be in Sioux Falls Monday for a meet and greet event. For more details on the visit, head on over to this story on your KSFY News app. Governor Kristi Noem has notified the White House that South Dakota will continue to accept refugees who are resettled in the United States next year. The president issued an executive order recently that allows states and local governments to opt out of the U.S. refugee resettlement program. Before that, the federal government was only required to consult with states. The resettlement program will handle a maximum of 18,000 refugees next year after the president cut the current cap of 30,000, 80 of which Lutheran Social Services expects will come to South Dakota.
Refugees are very eager workers. They meet a very critical workforce need in our community right now. What we see over time is that refugees are very loyal employees. They appreciate that they've been given an opportunity to work in a new country and to get a fresh start.
Governor Noem's consent ends on December 31st, 2020, and she does say she reserves the right to withdraw that consent. Local governments in the state can also opt out if they wish. The Very Brave Knight is a children's book that was written by a student in Watertown, and it tells the story of a kid who overcomes the struggle of being bullied. The student who wrote the book, Piper Webb, worked with her mom as a way to cope with being bullied herself. Piper's mom says working on the book helped give Piper a positive feeling and helped build her confidence. On Tuesday, Millette Elementary in Watertown gave Piper the opportunity to share the story with a group of more than 50 fourth grade students. Now that she was able to visit with students there, she's hoping to visit even more students.
I'm hoping that I can visit other schools and tell them to stand up for yourself and just instead of just letting it happen, because before I reached out to parents and teachers, I just let it happen.
Piper doing some good work there. Her book can be purchased for $12 on Amazon or for $10 by meeting with Piper's mom in person.